at the beginning of a mini adventure. We've taken some days off. We are traveling further into the interior and south from where we live into the region of Alentejo, and we are at our first stop along the way, which is a beautiful little historic town, border town with Spain, called Marvão, and we're up in the castle. The weather's not that great, but it is beautiful up here. The scenery is lovely, and we are right on the wall of the wall that surrounds the town. This was built to protect Portugal from Spain back in the days when they were not so friendly. And so, yeah, we're going to take a walk around the castle. Do you want to join us? Let's go.
One thing I love about this country that we live in is the landscape is so different from region to region. We've only driven maybe an hour and a half so far, and it's completely different to where we are near Sertã. I'm sure it looks even better on a sunny day, but even now it's amazing. The rocks here are completely different. And as we were driving through the countryside, you could see these huge boulders just popping out of the ground. Lots of cork trees, lots of olive trees. Really beautiful.
Hello.
And the best thing about coming to places like this off-season is there's no other tourists around, so you get the place to yourself. It's brilliant. So we are here at the moment, and we are going somewhere down here. So we better hit the road.
So to give you a little bit of context on where we're heading on our trip, let's take a look at a map. We started our mini adventure from our home in the town of Sertã in the middle of Portugal. We drove about 20 minutes before I got hungry, and we stopped for a very local lunch at a nice cafe in Proença Nova. After fueling up on chicken skewers, a small jug of wine and 2 coffees, all for the price of just 16 euros, we hit the road and made our first stop at Marvão Castle. From Marvão, we'll drive 2.5 hours south to our hotel in the town of Moura, where we'll be staying for 3 nights. The plan for this short holiday is to rest, relax, walk around, look at some nice old buildings, visit a winery, and eat some delicious Portuguese food. On the way back, we're planning a quick visit to Spain to stock up on some international wine and some delicious treats, and then visit another couple of historic Portuguese towns on the way home. After some driving, we arrived at Hotel de Moura, a former 17th century convent adapted to become the Grand Hotel de Moura in 1900. Despite the fancy building, the rooms, including breakfast, had a very modest price tag of just 40 euros per night. An absolute bargain in my opinion, and another reason why we love travelling off-season. The next morning we got up early and jumped in the car again to head to our favourite kind of touristing destination. Quinta de Quetzal is a winery, restaurant and art gallery near the town of Vidigueira in the heart of Alentejo's wine region. We took a tour around the winery following the route of the grapes that enter at the top of the building and fall down into jacketed oak and stainless steel fermenters on the first floor. After a week or so of initial fermentation, the wine moves down to the basement to be aged in either stainless steel tanks or French oak barrels. They produce a wide selection of wines, mostly blended from a number of grape varieties unique to Portugal and the region.
These are all my glasses, right?
After the tour, we sat down for a tasting of 4 wines, a rosé, a white and 2 reds, along with a small plate of snacks, of local meats and cheeses and some pumpkin jam.
Can't believe we have a place to ourselves. There's more staff here than people.
How we like it. And this is we have a 7-course meal with matched wines. I really hope every course doesn't have a glass of this size. Else someone's going to have to carry me home.
Cheers.
Is that all you have to say?
That is all I have to say. I have no descriptive words other than this is an excellent day out.
I love the glass to wine ratio. It pleases my nose.
We feasted on game ravioli with a rather gutsy red wine, and then followed up with a fish course of salted fried fish and migas with a white, and then switched back to red again with a slow roasted lamb dish.
It's got lots of shots of you eating.
I'm very good at that. Really nice.
So we had more wine, and more wine, and more wine.
2 desserts were paired with 1 fortified wine, drunken pears with a grape puree, and pumpkin crumble with ricotta ice cream.
I can't put that much in my mouth.
That's what he said. Pumpkin dessert with
They do
ricotta
really
ice
good
cream.
things with pumpkin here.
After an incredible lunch, we thought we'd stretch our legs and get some fresh air at some nearby Roman ruins. This is Vila Romana de São Cucufate, a small open-air museum showcasing one of the largest Roman villas in Portugal, alongside some thermal baths, a temple, and an agricultural production area.
Now, I studied archaeology and architecture history at university. I don't remember any of it, but this is why we like walking around old buildings. There's just something about it which is really, really fascinating. Kylie's very excited. She's found the wine storage. How do you always manage to find a cat?
They find me. Eh? For a dog person, I do well with cats. Yes. You are well looked after.
For someone allergic to cats, you do well with cats.
Someone is feeding you.
The next day, we decided to explore the old town of Moura. It's a classic Portuguese town with traditional tiled buildings, narrow roads, and cobbled streets. inside the tower at Moura Castle is a small exhibition of weapons that were found during the excavation and restoration of the building. And there were amazing views from the top.
Well, that was a nice way to stretch the legs. The weather seems to be improving a bit as well, which is nice. We'll see what we get up to this afternoon. It might involve some food and wine.
Alentejo wine. Big thumbs up.
After a small lunchtime snack, we moved on to see what else we could find.
Some pumpkin jam.
We came across an olive oil museum that showed some ancient olive oil pressing machinery, but unfortunately they wouldn't allow us to film there. But on the other side of the road was a small walled garden with lots of really old olive trees in all sorts of different varieties.
These look more like blueberries than olives. It's amazing. That is an old tree. It's much bigger. Wow, that's very different, eh?
Yeah. I mean, and it doesn't feel oily. Let's get rid of that. It's more like a grape.
So we're not having much luck with the weather today. That is one of the downsides of travelling off-season. So we might just have to go and find somewhere for a refreshing beverage. There is only one thing to do on days like this. Be hydrated.
Since the weather wasn't playing nice, we decided to keep warm by hopping around a handful of bars and restaurants to sample more local treats. And when the average price for a glass of local treats is just €2, it makes it a fairly affordable as well as enjoyable way to spend an afternoon.
It's cold.
Right, our time in Moura has come to an end. It was a really nice place. We had a lot of fun. We drank some wine and ate some food, and it was all good. And what I feel that this journey needs now is some international travel. So instead of going back exactly the same way that we drove down, we're going to pop into Spain, see what's happening over that side, maybe pick up some Spanish wine, because funnily enough you can't buy international wine very easily in Portugal, and we like a bit of variety from time to time. So let's jump in the car and see what we can find.
Let us.
Let us.
So we've just looked up the route, and it turns out that all the supermarkets are closed on Sundays in Spain.
They're all open like 24/7 in Portugal, so
We will have to make a new plan.
quickly, because we were literally about to set off.
With a shopping trip to Spain off the menu, we looked up our list of potential touristing destinations to see what took our fancy. We decided our first stop would be Monsaraz, another fortified border town. Being a Sunday, there were a few more tourists around than we'd experienced earlier on the trip, but it was still a great place to walk around and enjoy some incredible views. We jumped back in the car and set the sat-nav for our next destination, another border town called Elvas.
Are you ready to make this road trip international?
I think we turn before we actually get to Spain.
No, we're about to cross the border.
Are we?
Yep. There we go. I guess there's no one on this road because there's nothing open in Spain today.
On the the Spanish side of the border, the landscape was much the same. Lots of rolling hills, lots of cattle and pigs, lots of cork oaks and loads of olive trees. We didn't get to enjoy any Spanish food or buy any international wine, but at least we managed to tick a visit to Spain off the list for now. Maybe we'll make a plan to go there another time and take you along for the ride. Eventually, we crossed the border back into Portugal and reached Elvas. This historic town is just 8 kilometers from the Spanish city of Badajoz, and it was the most important stronghold on the Portuguese border.
Now that's a moat.
Yeah, must have taken our ages to dig that out.
It was actually the most fortified city in all of Europe and was given the nickname Queen of the Border. We also learnt that the 17th century walls of Elvas constitute the largest bastion fortification in the world, and it was classified a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2012. We enjoyed some more local food and wine before it was time to hit the road one last time.
Right, our mini adventure is about to come to an end. Now we just have to do the boring bit, which is drive home, which is a couple of hours from here in Elvas back to Sertã. And it's been really nice to get away because we don't do that enough. We're always working. It's always nice to see progress, but it's always good to take a break too. And we've had a great time. But we will leave it here for now. We will see you in the next adventure. But we've got lots of plans for more gardening videos, more cooking videos, more travel videos as well, because we enjoy them and hopefully you do too. But that is it for now. We will see you in the next one. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.